Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. So this is a special video on the editorial analysis where I analyze the important editorial from the Hindu as well as from the Indian Express. So we'll try to figure it out the important relevant editorial from prelims and mains exam perspective. So let's get started. And good news coming for all the civil service aspirant. Basically we at Apti Plus have started 24/7 online support. So this is basically for the prelims examination. So this is the prelims express which you can avail. The books are also available at InstaMojo. I have given the link for the you can check the description. I've given the link over there. So as you know, that is a 21-day lockdown in the country, and Apti Plus is constantly putting our best effort to give the best we can give to our aspirants. You just need to be safe. You need to be, do not need to panic. You need to study from home. So this will be completely 24/7 online support. Will be preparing for civil services prelims examination, right? So there's a prelims express, video lectures are there, test series are there. So all of the things are there which you can study at home and get the best out of it, right? So for more detail, do check the description and where you can buy from InstaMojo. So I've given the description I've given the link in the description. Do check it out. Now moving to today's editorial list. Today is 26th of March. So the in-depth analysis would be on India health diplomacy. This is again important editorial from Indian Express. An MCQ's question would be there with explanation. So this would be helpful for the prelims examination. Students who are preparing for the upcoming prelims examination, it will be helpful for them. And there are mains question also. So this is correlated with the in-depth analysis that we are asking. So ये लिंक होगी जो भी मैं आपके साथ in-depth analysis में डिस्कस करूंगा. साथ के साथ हिंदू से दो इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल है. ट्रेसिंग अ वुडेड इकोनॉमी, बी अवेयर ऑफ अ लॉपसाइडेड लॉकडाउन. एंड इंडियन एक्सप्रेस से दो इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल, माइंड योर ओन इकोनॉमिक्स, लेट टेक अ डीप ब्रेथ. सो दीज आर द इंपॉर्टेंट 5 editorial that I'll be discussing with you. So starting with the glimpse of the Hindu, first these are the 2 important editorial that I have considered for the discussion. Now talking about the op-ed page, which is the page number 9, here the COVID and the Great China Puzzle. So this talks about Chinese, basically they have the first epicenter at the Wuhan, and there's a lot of death which has been reported from China. Talking about the present death, which is as of now is like 26th of March. So the total death is almost 4,35,000. Okay, 435k has been reported, and the total death that is reported is around 19,500. This much has been reported, the death. Talking about the recover phased people, almost 1,11,000 people have recovered. So this is what is being dealt in this editorial precisely. We have already this China part on our previous editorial, so I'm not discussing this here. Now this particular editorial talks about the COVID infection in a district. So this also we are not discussing in detail. So these are the 2 important editorial that I'll be discussing in detail. And this is again a short article that talks about more tests to be there in India, because ज़रूरी ये है कि जितने भी लोग पाए जा रहे हैं पॉजिटिव, या जो भी जिनको पता नहीं है they are tested with they are infected with the coronavirus. So there is the more and more that the tests should be there. The government of India should plan that more tests could be there, so that we can have a real-time status of the people infected, right? So these are almost the 3 editorial that has already been discussed. So these are the 2 important ones that I'll be discussing. So first, starting with the in-depth analysis. This is from the Indian Express. As you know that we start our session with the in-depth analysis, then we'll be subsequently moving to the newspaper, right? So this is from the Indian Express talking about the relevance of this editorial. This is important for the general studies paper 2. And it is again important for the case study also. So case study के लिए भी ये चीज़ important है, and this comes under general studies paper 4, right? Now the entire editorial talks about the health diplomacy and its future forecast. What would be the India's role? What would be the India's roadmap in terms of the health diplomacy, right? So COVID-19 has shows response in the health issues, and not just to be a domestic matter, because this is almost a pandemic which entire world is suffering. All the emerging economies, the developed economies like Britain, US, Poland, France, Germany, everyone is affected, right? And these are related to India's external relation with the UN agencies, international NGOs, business, and other transnational actors. So basically it talks about what could be our relations with this organization when it's come to the health diplomacy. A future forecast has been given. Now, what is the present situation? Before we move ahead to the exact health diplomacy, you need to understand what exactly is the present situation. So there has been a rapid spread of the coronavirus beyond China. So as you know, that started in China in the Wuhan provinces. So Wuhan is a district where it started, and identification of the large number of the cases has also been reported in India. As far as government of India, Ministry of Health, the present case is around 624. This is present what are coming, and the total number of that has been reported is around 11. Fine. So this is what in the morning news I'll tell you. It can change in evening. So India's preparedness to control, suppress, and mitigate the pandemic is very important. So we are continuously discussing the editorial from 3 days to 4 days. We have been talking about the coronavirus. So it is very essential for you to make this topic as a prelims, mains, case study as well as for the essay. तो आप इसको essay के point से भी देखना, क्योंकि health pandemic पे एक essay बहुत ही स्वाभाविक है, right? Now, what does the preparedness mean? So if you talk about the preparedness, what exactly mean for any of the nation? See, preparedness could pertain to different domain in the public health. So the first would be the identification of the cases, जो exact case है उसको identify करना, and the second would be healthcare facilities. See, until unless you have healthcare facilities, the identification will not work, because you need some basic amenities, the basic healthcare amenities that is required to cure that. Fine. Now the second is the method to check the spread of virus. What are the precautionary measures that we could take to check the spread of the virus, right? Like India has taken a decision, the government of India has taken decision to 21-day lockdown, right? So this is a precautionary measure. The same has been taken in Bangladesh, and the same was taken in South Korea, right? So South Korea has also taken the same decision. And the other preparedness, the fourth pillar of the preparedness is research and communication. So research in terms of science and technology, and communication is like the shutdown should not be there. So communication is something which make economy alive and other people to get communicated and connected, right? Now moving ahead, what should be done? What could be the exact situation? What things need to be done? See, the very important part is aggressive social distancing. That is the only measures that WHO and other emerging economies are suggesting. India has also taken the cognizance of it, and we are almost practicing the social distancing. So complete lockdown has been witnessed in India, and that could be serve the purpose of the social distancing. एंड दिस इज कम्प्लीटली अ न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट. अगर बात करें इंडिया में सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के लिए, तो ये भारत में ऐसा पहली बार हुआ होगा आज़ादी के बाद या आज़ादी से पहले. अगर मैं 18th सेंचुरी के तरफ से मैं बात करूँ, दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट विल विटनेसिंग द टर्म कॉल्ड सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, राइट? देयर हैव बीन नॉट एनी इंसिडेंट वेयर दिस टाइप ऑफ एक्शन हैज बीन टेकन फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एज अ हेल्थ प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर. So aggressive policies need to be identified at individual level with people who are infection. We need to identify it. We need to isolate them. Okay. So this is very important at this point of time. Quarantine is also one of the measures that could be taken. Fine. And increasing the testing and medical facility at the district level. Each level means, here I mean each level at both at district level, state level, right? So this would be the district level, another would be the state level. So you need to have a bottom-up approach to trace the people, to trace the infected people. Now, moving ahead, external relation with the health emergency. So this is what is being taught. This is importantly dealt in this editorial. So this talks about the second health pandemic preparedness. That issues is very important, right? How we should prepare for this. And India's external relations to the UN agency, international NGOs and business. So this would decide the roadmap how we are going and moving, right? And not having the health emergency depend upon the India's plan to put the risk cover, that the potential risk that could come in terms of international diplomacy. So what we can do, the country has a disadvantage in terms of international negotiation. See what has happened, as I've already told you in previous one, that we have not joined RCEP because some of the domestic dairy farm sectors and other sector was being, the sectors has witnessed a fall down. So we have not taken this decision. The government of India has declined not to sign the RCEP. So what would be the another course of international negotiation? Because after the postmortem of the coronavirus, there need to be a revival in the economy, and different strategy need to be applied to the outbreak strategy in terms of the pathogen that has come from India. See, as you know, this is something which has its inception in China, in the Wuhan. So India is only the affected country among all the countries are affected. This contingency has spread from China. So even the pathogen has come from outside, India could become the epicenter of the outbreak. Although in the present context, अभी मैं अगर वर्तमान में आपको बताऊं तो America as the country, US has been the mostly affected one after Italy. Okay, so talking about after Italy, US is the most affected country, and it is India and US would be the epicenter. But although after the lockdown, India के पास जो situation है, India would be like there will be downfall. But the very necessary part is that there should be the check for each and every people. It's not possible, but then also whatever precautionary measures need to be taken to identify the infected people would be very necessary. Fine, and government need to begin the mapping and epidemiological risk in the India can face. Fine, so this talks about the external relation during the health emergency. Now moving ahead, talking about the international order of global governance. So this is basically talking about the book that has been written by the Shashi Tharoor and Samrin Saran. This is reported in this editorial. That is what I'm discussing. A book has been written by both of the writer. So they talks about India, world disorder, and the international imperative. So I'll show you the book. So this is the book where they talks about the book highlights the equality, global warming, terrorism, communal and ethnic tension, that is what India should do to overcome it. And this book does not mention anything about the coronavirus output because it was not there. It does not mention the COVID risk was not there. But again, the author studies the war, how the situation could be there after war, the sustainable development and cyberspace to show the inequalities in the current global governance system. So it has suggested a forecasted part is there that I have suggested the diplomacy part in terms of these important sectors, right? इन चीजों के बारे में ज़्यादा जिक्र है. Or the book also talks about the India inevitable leadership in role in Asia and the global governance. So this is what is being talked in this editorial. That is why I'm discussing this. Now we need to learn how to govern globally and what should be the move of economical, health and security matters. So if you want, you can read this book also. There's ample time that you can read, but I highly recommend that you focus mostly on the prelims examination because the dates are not going to be postponed as well as the schedule for 31st of May. So I don't find this to be changed, but then also you need to prepare yourself beforehand. You need to prepare yourself, right? Now moving ahead, what would be the way forward? India seems to have recognized the importance of global health diplomacy. So this is something the need of the hour. And health diplomacy has been very important in terms of country like India where the billion of people are residing, and if infections take place and we do not predict the number how much is going to be affected, right? And on March 15 the Prime Minister has organized a video conference through SARC leader to discuss and share model in responding the COVID. And here we have also SARC relief fund. The emergency fund was there to overcome the epidemic of the coronavirus, right? So the value of meeting is only to make the sense, and the time of the success and the failure will depend upon after the pandemic. We are taking all the precautionary measure, but we have still not result. We have not in the stage of the conclusion. We have to see after 21-day lockdown what would be the exact situation, and this can only be seen after a week. So we need a week after the lockdown is over. What is the present situation? But definitely this would need India health diplomacy during the emergency. That has to be much more than sharing disease control model with the other countries. And we also need to learn that the healthcare, which is something which need to be augmented in country like India. And talking about its GDP contribution that is suggested across the world, that India should have at least 5% of its GDP for the healthcare sector, right? So this is what was dealt in this editorial. We have discussed it in the in-depth analysis. Now looking forward, some of the other important parts. So first I'll discuss a mains question. This is a main question for you, so you have to practice. So the question goes like, what should be India's roadmap to future healthcare diplomacy to overcome any health emergency? So आप participate कर सकते हैं. You can write your answer, you can take a snap of that and you can convert it on the PDF format. We want the PDF format. Write your name on the answer from where you're sending, and you can send it on the WhatsApp. मैंने वीडियो में डिस्क्रिप्शन में WhatsApp के नंबर दिए हुए हैं, आप वहाँ से नंबर ले सकते हैं और हमें सेंड कर सकते हैं, and we will evaluate your copy and we'll resend it to you. Fine. Now moving to the other important editorial from the Hindu. So be aware of the left sided down. Basically this is talks about the functions and responsibility of union and state. So there is a complete 21-day lockdown in the country, and the effects of the lockdown is mostly seen in the informal sector worker and their families. So what is happening, the people who are earning daily, जो दिहाड़ी के मजदूर हैं, जिनका काम डेली बेसिस पे चलता है, they are the mostly affected with this. And what about the income support to the poor families? Government has already released 15,000 crore rupees for the bailout package, for the emergency package, for a health package, we would call it. So let's see how this will move, because many of the people have lost their job. Almost they have lost their job for the informal sector, and some bold steep steps need to be taken to overcome the food distribution effective. So what is happening, like there's a lockdown, almost people are in the chaos that what will happen to the foods. The normal people, they do not have ample money so that they could have a stock of monthly stock of the rations. So होता क्या, ज़्यादातर लोग इस तरह के लोग डेली बेसिस पे अपना राशन परचेज करते हैं, एंड अगेन इट बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, अगर उनके पास डेली के पैसे नहीं होंगे, हाउ दे विल फीड द पीपल. एक एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे बताई गई है कि एक एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे कि अगर एक बच्चे को तो वो बता सकते हैं कि बेसिकली वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द सिचुएशन इज गोइंग, बट एक बच्चे को समझाना कि किस तरह से भूखमरी का सिचुएशन उसको करना पड़ेगा, दिस वुड बी अगेन वेरी पैथेटिक फॉर कंट्री लाइक इंडिया, राइट. सो मोस्ट ऑफ देम हैव ऑलरेडी रिसीव्ड द लिमिटेड फॉर्म ऑफ इनकम सपोर्ट. सो फूड rations and public distribution system would be again needed a very effective time to have a check and balances. एंड यूज़ ऑफ एक्सेस फूड स्टॉक, अभी FCI के पास काफ़ी ज़्यादा फूड स्टॉक है, सो उसको सही तरीके से यूज़ करने की ज़रूरत है. इससे पहले वो सड़े लोगों को दुगने चौगने तरीके से देने की ज़रूरत है, राइट. And central government should also double the PDS ration, like for 3 to 6 months they can have an emergency measures which they can provide to the below poverty line or the people associated with the informal sector. Now talking about the payment arrangement, जो सरकार ने कहा कि they will be having a payment arrangement. So large scale cash transfer need to be done to start at the advancement payment in the social security pension. जो ऐसे लोग जो कि सोशल सिक्योरिटी स्कीम्स में काम कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए एडवांस पेमेंट भी अगर सरकार कर दे तो इस टाइम पे बहुत अच्छा होगा, राइट. एंड इट इज़ अगेन द सेंटर स्टेट कॉपरेशन दैट इज़ वेरी एसेंशियल, एंड ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द स्टेट यूनियन टेरिटरीज एंड सेंटर आर कॉपरेटिंग एट द टॉप लेवल. So this is very essential that there should be a coordination, right. Now moving ahead, this is again important for your gender studies paper 3, where wounded economy has been discussed, and talking about the precise syllabus, this would be important for Indian economy issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth, and economy and employment. So there has been, this editorial talks about monetary policy and fiscal action. So this is written by C. Rangarajan. So C. Rangarajan was the chairman of the former chairman of the Economic Advisory Council, and he is the former governor of RBI. So whatever coming from him would be very important. So it talks about the impact of the coronavirus epidemic, and almost every country is impacted. And he has talked that it has a dual impact. The pandemic has a dual impact. So first is the health, and other is the economical impact. So if we talk about the economical impact, so there are 4 other parts which he has talked about, like external demand would be impacted, domestic demand would be impacted, supply distribution would be complete breakdown, and financial market disturbance. We have already seen Sensex and Nifty is going complete downfall, fine. And in fact, the 6th month of the negative growth, India has already witnessed 6 months of the negative growth, like from quarters, every quarters we have seen negative growth. So in January there was a bit positive result which was coming, a growth was seen in some of the sector, but हुआ क्या उसके बाद फिर again corona attack has vanished everything. And the policy rate, talking about the policy rate which was already brought down to 135 basic points by the RBI. So what will happen to that, because there will be complete economical slowdown. So now here he talks about the role play can be done from the RBI, and it needs to go beyond the cutting policy rates. The other precautionary measure, the other supportive measures has to come from the RBI also, and RBI can only support once the government is also supporting RBI. Fine. And supply distribution can occur only because of the inability to import and procure inputs. So as we have seen, there's a complete shutdown, like most of the things which was imported were also been completely shut down. So it is essential that nearly 60% of our import are in the category of intermediate goods. So what will happen to them? So definitely there will be break in the supply chain, and the financial market issues is also very important. So after 21-day lockdown, we have to see how the share market is going to increase, and what would the another roadmap that stake to the share market as well the financial market, right? And he also talks about the job sectors where mostly the daily wages earner and the non-permanent and temporary employees will be affected, and this is going to impact almost more than 20 lakhs people. Fine. So this would impact this much people. So we have to see how the economy revive, and we can only pray so that this epidemic can be just vanished as early as possible. Now moving to the Indian Express, here again two important editorial that I'm discussing is this one and mind your own health. Basically this talks about the more economical health that we have discussed also. So this was our in-depth analysis. So I've taken in-depth analysis from this page. Now this is again not that important. We have already dealt the Rajya Sabha seat that was being given to former CGI Mr. Gogoi. So this talks about this, and this again talks about the coronavirus epidemic and the citizen participation. So this already has been dealt. So I'm considering these two as an important editorial. Fine. So first, mind your own economy health. So this is written by Arun Maria. It talks about this topic can be important for the general studies paper 2, where issues related to development and management of health. So the fragility of the economy has been exposed within the last 2 decades. So talking about the first economical slowdown we have witnessed in 2008, जहाँ पे financial services almost जब collapse हुई थी US में firms, उस time पे ये चीज़ देखी गई थी, और एक तरह से कंप्लीट फाइनेंशियल मेल्टडाउन हो गई थी 2008 में भी. नाउ द सेम कैन बी विटनेस इन 2020, द इमर्जेंस ऑफ नोवेल कोरोना वायरस. So Arun Maria suggested 6 economical reform that would be important. So the 6th reform he suggested would be for the reshaping of the Indian economy. So the 6th suggested measure is focusing on the provision of universal social security. This is very essential. India is a country of more than 1.3 billion people are residing here. So what will happen to this? The social security provisions. Now the second is informal sector, which provide majority of Indians with opportunity to earn income on a daily wages. So most of the people are working on the daily wages. Fine. And the changes in the economical paradigm, that is like trickle down to build up. So now we are almost trickle down. Now how we will gear up will again will decided upon the government and the other economic stakeholders. Fine. And concerning the virus epidemic and the pandemic which is there in the pan India, we need to strengthen our public healthcare services. So this is very essential to have the basic amenities in the public healthcare and infrastructures. And he also suggested the reform to strengthen the public education system. So the hygiene issues which government is trying to promote, so this can only come once the people are educated. Fine. So ज़रूरी है जागरूकता के साथ हमें सब लोगों को शिक्षित भी करना है. And strengthening the local governance in the town level and district level to develop and implement the local system solution. So what is happening, like as I have told you, bottom up approach जो यहाँ पे कही जा रही है उसी चीज़ के जिक्र है कि हमें छोटे ब्लॉक से लेकर के फिर पंचायत, फिर अगेन डिस्ट्रिक्ट, अगेन स्टेट, सो उस तरह पे एक हायरार्की के साथ काम करने की ज़रूरत है. Now the second important editorial, this talks about the functions and responsibility of union and state, important for your general studies paper 2. So this talks about how the societal response for the COVID-19 and lockdown in the country. So evidence has been widespread. The community transmission is not still has taken place a lot, but there's a fear among the people. So I'll share a incident which is discussed in this editorial. So 25-year-old man has ended his life by jumping from the 7th floor of the government hospital in Delhi. So he has just visited the hospital to get himself diagnosed whether he is suffering from, whether he is infected with COVID-19 or not. So the report has also not come, and he was so panicked, he was being so traumatized that he jumped it out. He even do not know that whether he was infected or not. So this is something which infected the people mentally as well, and the rage of restriction has been given to people freedom in public life, accumulating to the national wide lockdown. So India is a country which has never practiced this. So this is completely new to all Indians. Like, and virus threaten has essential human crisis. There's a humanitarian crisis which country is witnessing as of now. So being disconnected from the social routine would again have a social interaction, loss of income. People are, as I have discussed already, there will be loss of income, loss of wages, loss of employment from the other sectors also. So public communication can focus more on collective responsibility toward elderly and the healthcare system. So it is very essential the people who are above 60, we need to take care for them, and people who are mostly diabetic, they are mostly prone to the infection. So we need to have a proper take care of these people as well. And government must clearly communicate its plan to repair the lives of the billions of the people. So prime minister need to address this, because there are other situation which has overcome after the 21st day lockdown, and this need to given a proper solution, so that the people concerned so do not panic, and there should be relaxing, that the whatever is being taken is taken care on their good. Okay, so उनके हित के लिए चीज़ें की जा रही है. This is very essential to be communicated to the society and the people concerned. Now moving to the important questions of the day. So the first question is from static portion of Indian culture. So this I have taken from NCRT. So this question is from NCRT and from Nitin Singhania. Fine. So consider the following statement with regards to Temple of Eastern India. So the terracotta was the main medium of construction in this region. And second, the sculpture were found in the region to show development of the important regional school. This is a second statement. The third statement, the molding ballads depicts the deities of Jainism in West Bengal. Okay, in Bengal, basically it's a Bengal, not West Bengal. So you have to tell me which among the following is the correct. Only 1 and 2, both 1 and 3, only 3, or all of them. So you can pause this video, read the statement, and let us know what is the correct answer. I'll be explaining the answer as well. I just want you to participate while writing the answer in the comment section. So the correct answer is A, that 1 and 2 are correct. Eastern India temple include those found in the northeast, Bengal and Odisha. And it appears that the terracotta was the main medium of construction, and a large number of sculpture has been found in Assam, Bengal, to show that the development of important regional school in this area. Fine. And statement 3 is incorrect, that the molding ballads depicts Buddhism and Hindu deities in Bengal until the 7th century. Fine. Now the second question is from the current affairs. So this is important because prelims is approaching, so we will be including some of the current affairs question as well. So consider the following statement with regards to India government ease of doing business index for the states. So this is for the states. So it is released by DIP, that is Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, and the World Bank. This is the first statement. The second statement is Gujarat has topped the latest index, and it was a third edition of the ranking. Fine. So which among the following is correct? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, or all of the above. So take a pause, read this statement, and let us know with the correct answer. So the correct answer goes like C, that is only 1 is correct. So DIP releases this, the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion and World Bank jointly released the business index for the state. And statement 2 is incorrect, that the Andhra Pradesh has topped the index for the year 2017, released in 2018. Fine. So this was the two questions that we have asking for the prelims perspective. And you can also get the benefit of 5 online open mock test, which is on current affair, only at ₹10. वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मैंने इसके भी लिंक दिए हुए हैं, आप ज़्यादा जानकारी वहाँ से चेक कर सकते हो और अपने आप को रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं, राइट. एंड अगेन अ पीस ऑफ क्वेश्चन फॉर ऑल द एस्पिरेंट्स. डूज एंड डोंट्स आर देयर फॉर द novel coronavirus. Do implement it and let other people know also what are the do's and don'ts. So share your responsibility and be safe, stay home, study with the online platform in the Apti Plus through Prelims Express, so that your preparation is not being impacted, right? And do not forget to like this video, subscribe our Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. There are many important compilations for this month that will be coming, so stay tuned with the videos. We'll be posting very soon. And you can also get the Telegram channel where you get the important PDF uses are there. So do check the Telegram channel as well. And I sincerely thank you for listening to this video. If you have any other concern, do let us know. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I am signing off. Wish you all the best. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.